Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's a Littlefinger. It is Friday, November 22nd, which means time for a store review. And it's going to be a little bit on the lengthy side because Black Friday event has started. So there is a lot to discuss. Before we jump in, though, 36 days left on Season 5. The reason I want to talk about this is because, as you are well aware, you are collecting power cells through your weekly missions, ratings battles, other events, in order to get the equipment for whatever tank you're working on. As you can see, I am on the tier 8 tank, and I really would like to get all of the equipment by the end of this 36 days. But if I don't, then I can basically use gold 1-to-1 ratio for these power cells, so they have value in the store. Also, on this Black Friday page here is where you're going to come and spend the additional tags that you get if you buy anything in the store. Now, I just wanted to bring this up and go through these real quick. This is the collect them all container. There is no gold in this. It's about a 5%, I believe, chance of getting a tank. I would stay away from this if you can. I would say my second least favorite, if that's such a thing, is the black box. The black box does guarantee you gold, as you'll see here, between 100 and 400, or you'll get a black box 2 or black box 3, which then would give you a little bit more gold as well. So, you're guaranteed to get some gold out of a black box container. It's just going to be on the very low side. Now, if you can swing it for 4 times the amount here, is the grand surprise container. And what you're going to do is you're going to open this container and you're going to get another container. But what I like about these, like if we take the M60 here, you've got a 20% chance to get the M60, or you've got an 80% chance to get 5,000 gold. So the gold is like 10 times the amount depending upon what container you get. Some of the lower tier tanks, there's a badge. Look at that, 6,500 gold for that, 1,500 gold for the Caliban. So that just depends on what container you get, but you are at least guaranteed to get a higher amount of gold out of that. And I would choose that over this awesome container. The awesome container has a little bit more of a variety in it. You might get some other black boxes, or you may end up with some gold as well. But I feel that for the 125 tickets, then that is your best option right there. So how do we get those tickets and what is in this store? All right, so let's go to the top to our Black Friday special. And we've got a lot of black boxes. I am not going to talk about these. I do not think that this is a good deal for your money. If you've got just a few of these tickets left over, you can put them into the draw. Not recommended either. First thing I do recommend is the gold and boosters. And the reason why here is if you add in these certificates, which you're going to get 10 times that at minimum. So you're going to get at minimum 250. As you know, if you play a tier 10 and win that battle, you're going to get an extra 10. So whatever tier you're playing and you win, that's how many additional you get. So if you win at tier 8, you're going to get 18. If you lose at tier 8, you're only going to get 10. Anyway, so at a minimum 250 added to the 500 gives you a really nice over 700 gold per dollar. Plus, if we add in the power cells as well as some sort of value, maybe not a true 1-to-1, I think that is a good deal. Also, the gold and containers here for $6 is 3,000 gold plus another 1,000 in these gold boosters. At a minimum, could be 2,000. So you're looking at 4,000 for $6. That's a good exchange. You're going to get some containers that are going to have some more gold in them. And of course, those power cells again. So I do like both of these as options to purchase, but you're not going to get a lot of those tags in that. So one of the other ones that I do like for 45 tags here, you're going to get the Centurion. And the reason I say that is if we take $11 and multiply it by, let's just say 600, that's 6,600 for a really nice tier 8. I think that's a good deal in of itself, plus everything else on top of that, the 3 black boxes here, is not a bad deal. Centurion by itself here is a medium tank, British play style. It's got good mobility. It's got good gun depression. It's got a super accurate, but the downside, it's high firing, low damage. So keep that in mind. But I wouldn't put it in my must-own category, but it is pretty close. It's a good tank. All right, moving on here, we've got the T95E6. So let me just do some math real quick. At $16, oh, sorry, oh my gosh, $16, Jesus, $16, and we multiply that by 600, that's 9,600. We're gonna get 2,500 back, so that's 7,000 gold, not including the gold there, for a tier 8 heavy tank. And this is one of my favorite. It's got great mobility, accurate gun, nice damage, all around just a good playing tank. So again, I see this, if you don't have this tank, as a nice little purchase, to be honest with you. I do not recommend any of these other ones. The gold price here is just too high. So M60 too high. Yeah, I'm not even really going to talk about these just because, you know, like a tier 8 for 9,000 gold is just too much. So I think maybe the Super Hellcat here, which is a tier 7 tank destroyer for 4,000 gold, you know, that's a reasonable price. Excuse me. But really not recommending any of the other ones. So let's move on down, and I wanted to talk about the linked bundles as well. So the gold price is not that great here, as you can see, but as you move on, you're going to get the power cells as well. So that does add that value in. So if you're looking for some power cells and a little bit of gold, you know, we're at what, less than 500 here for this one. And then, you know, once you start getting up, let's see, where was it? All of this was free. Then you go to this one, $5 for this 1,000 gold here. So that's not, the gold ratio is not great, but you're going to get the containers, more 750, 780. So I would definitely stop here. I wouldn't go above this. This is only 200 gold. You know, it's just kind of tempting here. But, you know, actually, I haven't really scrolled all the way to the end to see where we end up. But you got a guaranteed tank here, but it's just not worth it once you start getting towards the end, I don't think. So maybe the first two, but that's it. All right, so I think we can talk about those in the tank section. I want to just pull up the mega containers. This one can be fairly worthwhile for maybe the first few draws. The downside I'm seeing here is this 5 sandbox containers, and my guess is 55% chance on those sandbox containers. So if you wanted to take a couple just risks here at a low gold amount, the first one's gonna be 100, 150. You know, maybe the first 3 or so, maybe you'll pull one of the other containers that are gonna be more valuable. Let's see. All right, so I wanted to get into the tank section here. All right, tanks, unstoppable friends. I am not, I mean, the price here for these is good. Keep in mind, we don't have any of those tags. I am not a fan of the Kyler. It's just slow. It's so easy to penetrate through here. It really does not have as good an armor as you would think on such a slow tank. And the AMX is pretty good, decent mobility. It doesn't feel as fast to me, but really you got to keep your tank focused, you know, straight at your enemy, because as soon as you start to angle this tank, it's so easy to pen. So it's me, for me, it's more the play style is the reason not to get these 2 tier 8 tanks, and that's why. And as you can see, 7.5, there's no way I would spend 7.5 for each of those 2 tanks. And then the other one here is Double Trouble with the ISU and the T54 Mod 1. ISU, I really enjoyed this tank. It's got such a big gun on it. Decent mobility, you know, if you like that tank destroyer play style. And then the T54 Mod 1, I'm not such a huge fan of this. It's a really slow, sluggish, heavy tank, but the armor on it is very, very troll. You get a lot of bounces out of this tank. And for 10,000, if you're buying both of these for 5,000 gold each, that's a good price, but it's certainly not for 6,500. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about with the gold, in case you wanted to get some of these other things, make sure up top here that it's doubling the amount. So this 17.5 is actually 3,500 gold, right? And that's going to be a much better deal. This one here, as you can see, it's not. It's 8,500 gold for $28. So make sure it's double. Just stay away from this one, basically. All right, guys. So I know that was pretty long store review, but you know, make sure you're having fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.